Welcome back to the Juke, guys. Today I have Toyota's longest running production line vehicle. I think I said that in the wrong order, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. So, the Toyota Land Cruiser is Toyota's longest running production model. So, today I have a Toyota Land Cruiser 70 series. And if you want to be more precise, this is the 79 series. And it's also a classical example of if something's not broken, don't fix it. Because you could go to Toyota right now in 2024, ask for a Land Cruiser, and you're going to get something that looks like this. They've updated it a bit. There's a newer model, but when I say newer model, just minor changes, just a mini facelift, if I could call it that. But otherwise, pretty much this is what a Land Cruiser looks like in 2024. The 70 series was introduced to us in 1951. 1951. So this design is roughly 72, 3 years old, and Toyota is still selling us this design. I think Toyota is the only manufacturer getting away with this. They kept this design this way for all these years and we're still buying it. I mean, even Land Rover with the Land Rover Defender had to go back to the drawing board to say, right, now we are designing a new vehicle. People are sick of the Land Rover Defender looking this way, and they gave us a new Land Rover Defender. But Toyota's like, nah, you guys love it. We're going to keep giving it to you just the way you like it. Anyways, let's jump straight into the engine now, shall we? And this is a interesting place for me to be in because I drove this car for a while and I drove it on tar road, and I've had some situations where I had to overtake. This is not an overtaking vehicle. This vehicle is not built for speed. I mean, I'm not saying anyone looked at this vehicle and thought this must be fast, but yeah, after driving this vehicle, I thought this was a 2 liter, 2 point something liter. It's not. It's a 4.2 liter 6 cylinder engine, and it's naturally aspirated. So it's 4.2 liters 6 cylinder diesel engine, naturally aspirated, and yeah, it's it's not the overtaking vehicle. Yeah, it's got 96 kilowatts of power. That's 131 horsepower for those of us who understand horsepower. And in terms of torque, it can give you 285 Newton meters of torque. Those are not wow numbers, especially for a 4.2 liter. If you're going to buy this car, get the one with the turbo. Get the one with the bonnet scoop, get it with a turbo. But if you're gonna be on the farm all day, overtaking nothing but cows and sheep, then yeah, you don't need a turbo. It'll get the job done. Now I'm here on Toyota's website, just going through the color scheme, and I found it very interesting, very satisfying that they've simplified their color schemes. Like, this is for the simple person who's not looking for anything fancy. Can you see how simple the names are? Like, this is ruby red, like ruby metallic. It's, you can see this is ruby, right? And sand beige is sand beige. You can see this is sand beige. They didn't try to get fancy. They didn't try to get too technical. They didn't try to get overly complicated. Can you guess what they've named their blue? Can you guess? I'll give you a second. What did you guess? Did you guess blue? I think they've named it blue. Dark blue. Simple. I just love that. I just thought I should show that to say that if you're looking for a white Toyota, you're gonna get white. You don't get 50 whites. No, it's just one white, one dark blue. It's a really simple car. I just found that interesting, and I just thought I would show y'all. Now let's get back to the car itself. So you open the driver's door, and you'll see that the door is just designed to keep like a barrier between the driver and the environment outside. Nothing fancy going on here. The speaker you see there is an aftermarket speaker. It doesn't come with the LC79. Basic buttons, basic door latch. I think that's what you call that. Basic door latch just to open a door. It's not meant to be beautiful. It's not meant to be fancy. It's meant to open a door. And we have our warning stickers just in plain sight. This is a very functional car. Like, they're not trying to hide anything. Anything that they're trying to caution you against is right there, just pasted on the door right there, because I don't know, it's convenient. Excuse me for the mess, guys. Like, I get these cars and I get the opportunity to film them, and I quickly film them. So yeah, So here we have some blanks. I don't think you can get anything from Toyota to fill these blanks. I don't think those are poverty switches. I think Toyota just designed this car with like the end user in mind, like the consumer in mind, saying that they're going to put a couple of blanks in this car because you might want to fit some accessories in this car, like fog lamps, or is it called a wrench, that towing rope thing that you put in front of the car? Yeah, that thing. So this is your dashboard, guys. Nothing fancy here. If you've seen the previous generation's Land Cruiser, there's nothing new to see here. We have your low range gear there, you have your main gear, and many people have compared this to a Quantum's dashboard. It doesn't look like a Quantum's dashboard. In my opinion, a Toyota Quantum's dashboard looks a bit better. Okay, it looks a lot better. The seats are covered because like the owner goes in and out of this car pretty often, so yeah, he covered the seats to protect them from getting worn out pretty quickly. Who of you knows what this is? This is not a vent to feed the engine with extra air. It's actually to protect you. I think it's to protect your ears, because when you slam the doors too hard, there's a little flap in there that opens to release the pressure. Like, you know, if the windows are closed and you have like a capsule in the cabin, yeah, if you slam the doors too hard, you're gonna damage your ears, I would assume. I think it's for the ears. And here we have leaf spring suspension. I think there are only two vehicles with leaf spring suspension in 2024. It's this car and donkey carts. Yeah, I don't think you'll be seeing many leaf spring suspensions on modern day vehicles. But I do find it appropriate on a Land Cruiser LC79 because leaf spring suspensions can carry a lot of weight without, giving in too much. So this is a car that's made to work, that's made to be on a farm carrying things around. And what my brother is opening there, I actually looked for the name of that thing because I was gonna just call it a cage. Yeah, this is a cattle rail, and as the name suggests, someone might try to load a cow in here someday. Probably people have been loading cows in LC79s and LC70 series Toyota buggies. So yeah, I think that's appropriately named. And I did notice that this cattle rail is written Toyota Care, so I think that's an accessory from Toyota. The loading bed is also rubberized. You don't get it rubberized. And to close the tailgate, it's not an electric tailgate. What do you think this is? A Range Rover? No, this is a LC79. So the tailgate locks in a very simple, very reliable, very rugged, locking mechanism. I think the old Toyota Hiluxes, like the Raiders from the 90s, used to close like that before, the modern ones. And we do have airbags in this car. We have two airbags. I just thought I'd show that because, just looking at this car, it looks rugged, it looks rough, it looks like the old Land Rover. It reminds me of an old Land Rover Defender, and that didn't have airbags. Yeah, that car doesn't have airbags. If you see an old Land Rover Defender on the road, yeah, there's some brave drivers out there driving Land Rover Defenders with no airbags. You do get a glove box. It's not lined with felt. It's not dampened to release. It's just a glove box for you to put anything other than gloves. I don't think anyone would put in gloves. As you just saw my hand there, guys, I was painting when I got the opportunity to shoot this footage. So yeah, I just get the opportunity, I stop what I'm doing and I start filming. So yeah, that was paint that you saw on my hand. I don't know what it looks like, but it's paint, in case you thought it was something else. The instrument cluster is old school. It tells you what it needs to tell you. It tells you the mileage of the car. It tells you the revs, the speed, how much fuel you have, and the temperature. Nothing fancy. You won't get a screen. You don't even get your, what do you call that thing? That liters per 100 thing. Your consumption gauge. Yeah, you don't get that in this car. Just know that you are chowing a lot of fuel. Yeah, it's a guzzler. And as you can see there are two gauges. I don't know if you saw that. There were two fuel gauges for the car. It does have two diesel tanks. I'll get to that a bit later in the video. And here I'm just struggling to close the like third window there. Yeah, this is a very manual car. I'm surprised it even has electric windows. Like the passenger and driver windows are electric. That isn't. So I just, yeah, I don't know why I was closing that. I don't know what this scene is for. I don't know what I'm trying to show, but yeah, I was closing that window. Sorry for wasting 2 seconds of y'all's life. So, like I said, I did get to drive it. I did get the opportunity to drive it. It doesn't give a bad ride. It's not a bad ride at all. Not at all, but you know, for what you'd expect this to be a rugged car. You'd expect it to, yeah, not handle bumps very well. Have very stiff suspension, and yeah, the suspension in front is forgiving. So, it is an axle suspension, so it's not independent suspension. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, independent suspension, it means like the wheels are not linked through like a bar. So if something is happening to the wheel on the front left, if it was independent suspension, it would absorb the impact independently on the front left tire without affecting the right tire too much. But if it's an axle like it is in this car, if the right tire hits a bump, because they're connected by an axle, like the left tire would kind of get the shock, and as a result you're kind of having the whole front of the car absorbing the shock, and that gets transferred into the car. So what does that mean for you as the average consumer? Get a car with independent suspension, either with the front or the front and back. It's much more I'd say luxurious, comfortable. Yeah, so but if you're looking for a functional car that just gets the job done, that is reliable, that is rugged, that is going to load heavy things all the time, then an axle is a good idea. Axle front and back is a good idea. So now I'm just gonna show you some footage from inside the car. So the whole video so far, you've been seeing quite steady imagery. Yeah, so I am using a gimbal here. No, not here. The whole video I've been using a gimbal for steady imagery. And here I'm traveling at a low speed, and I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it is a bit shaky. So yeah, that's the suspension I was talking about. It's not built for luxury. It's not built for comfort. You will feel the ruggedness or smoothness of the terrain you're on. So yeah, it's a bit shaky, but it's not too bad. I'm using a decent gimbal. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that it can get a bit shaky. So even if I am using a gimbal, you can still see the footage in the scene shaking a bit. So yeah, this car's not built for comfort, guys. It's built for purpose, and it serves its purpose, and its purpose is not comfort. It's not luxury. It's not smoothness. Like I said, 0 to 100, okay, I didn't say 0 to 100, but like I said, it's not built for speed. It's not built for overtaking. I think the maximum speed in this car is 140. That doesn't matter. Nobody's buying this car to drag race or anything like that. It can get up to speed, it just takes a really long time. I think it's well north of, I'd say, 12 seconds, 0 to 100. Not that anyone that's gonna buy LC79 cares, but that's the number I'm guessing. I didn't bother to test the 0 to 100 because that's not the selling point of this car. Now, I did say I was going to talk about the two fuel tanks in this car. So this car does have two fuel tanks, and each tank has its own gauge, and there's a button in the dash written sub. So if you want to use the second tank, you're going to have to press that button, and then it'll consume fuel from the second tank. Otherwise, if that button is not engaged, if that's the proper word, it takes fuel from the main tank. So each tank is 90 liters each. So that's 180 liters. So if you want to fill this car from empty, if both tanks are empty, you're going to have to fill 190 liters. Now, I did the math as to how much in South African rands that would cost you to fill this car from empty to full. So 180 liters, if the diesel price, I just gave a round figure of 25 rand, So if a liter of diesel is 25 rand and you want to fill this car from 0 to 180 liters, it's going to cost you 4,500 rand. 4,500 rand to fill both the tanks. And obviously, if you only want to fill one tank, so if you keep the second tank full all the time and you keep just emptying and filling the main tank, that's 90 liters, that's obviously half of 4,500 rand, which is 2,250 rand to fill this car. So yeah, I know, like, I've seen videos on Instagram about people complaining about how expensive this is. Some person on Instagram even asked the petrol attendant, what is the most expensive car to fill up? And those guys see lots of cars. Those guys see BMWs. Those guys see probably even Bentleys and Range Rovers. And yeah, the petrol attendant responded and said the Toyota Land Cruiser is the most expensive car to fill up, and that came from a petrol attendant. I couldn't find the video for the purposes of this video. I saw it at a different time, but yeah, this car is renowned to be very thirsty and very expensive to fill up. I think we should call the drivers of this car Abo Kespanyo Vest. You know why? Because the drivers of this car are Abo Abuti Philip. Because, you know, yeah, that's what Caspanyo Vest refers to himself as sometimes, Abuti Philip. Yeah, if you own this car, you are Abuti Philip. Anyways, guys, I just had the opportunity to film this car and I just thought I'd film it and yeah, just talk about it a bit. Tell me what you think about this car, guys, in the comments, because I get the idea that when somebody who's not invested into cars looks at this car, they probably think, wow, this person has an old car from really, really long ago. And what they don't know is you can buy a LC79 that looks like this, brand new from Toyota in 2024. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, if you like the video, please like, share this video, subscribe to my channel. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep more content coming, guys. See you in the next video.